section 3 is this riding the boat idea. Right into like an elbow, Isaiah. This is like how everybody learns to do it as beginners, right? Kick their ass. You know, this is self-defense. We start with some real rough self-defense answers with beginners, right? We trust the beginner, like, don't go use this to mug people, right? But we'll teach them an elbow to the jaw, secret strategy, and let them practice on this stuff. They need help on the streets, right? But we're trying to get to, like, if I pull him, he keeps his arms out and holds me away, right? Or if he pulls me, right? So I can go right into elbow. Oh, yeah, right? That's wow. But I would also like, as he pulls me, right, to hold my arms out, right? Hold me a few times, right? So I hold my arms out, and he tries to get my arms again, right? So I'm trying to hold them in these springs. Pull me that way so the camera can see. So this versus this, it's a skill in this spring idea. So section 3 is done 2 different ways. You always see it this way. I pull this person down here as I go inside, and I use my turn to open them. Ugh. And I just told the Sifu Evans story where we were going to be on a movie for news, and we were doing the student grade 6 pull really cleanly. All right, get your toes in, Isaiah, the news cameras. Right, oh, Sifu's going to come around. We got to look really good. Yeah, this is great. News cameras. And then he comes around, he's like, no, what is this? And he gets that thing, and you know, to back out, and I try it on my student. And he comes around, he's like, boom, like that. He's you over here, hands up. He's like, 1, 2, boom. You, boom. Come on, I want to see this stuff. Come on. There's going to be a camera here. You, come here. We're all like, you go. I didn't look very good, I'm sure. But the idea is, this is 6th student grade. Don't do that. Right, whoa. That, at the end of section 1, is this thing. Right? Right, so end of section 1, 8th student grade, 6th student grade. Right, I just did a video on this. So then for section 3, right, there used to not be a section 2, so section 3 would have been the very next one that you would have learned. The guy steps underneath right here. Alright, so if there was no invented section 2, I'm doing these kind of attacks at the end of section 1 now. Section 1's high-low. So he wants to bring this arm up. Must be true. And so you start getting into this thing in applications all the time. You're like, where did that come from? Where did this come from? Right, it comes from, I get pulled and I put this up. All right. So he wants to bring this arm up. And then I'm going to get stretched here. I got to practice some disadvantage, so I got to regain myself. So I got to learn this. As this gets stretched, the answer is to escape. Must be true. And so you start getting into this thing in applications all the time. You're like, where did that come from? Where did this come from? Right, it comes from, I get pulled and I put this up. All right. The way I first learned section 2, though, was like some top secret European stuff that I'm not going to show you. So, if you're really good, it could be this big, right? Bam! And that's some EWTO from the 1990s. Not this stuff they're doing now. So, right? I might train it like this, come up inside, oh my goodness, and then step down and push this down. Oh. These are giant moves because it has to be really big so we can do it. And so our muscle memory can program it. It's really big. And then when you get out in the real world, it's this tiny little thing. When adrenaline kicks in, it gets shrunk. So again, I might practice like this to get the muscle memories, right? But the first way I learned it was this big, but with the pull. That was how we were doing it. And it's like, okay, now defend yourself. Boom, that's... I'm lucky Isaiah cooperates with me. I was doing that with him over there. He'd be throwing me on the ground. Thank you, Isaiah. He's a good student. So, he's doing it so you can see, right? It's not for my ego. This thing, and then before it turns off on its own, I want to point out one critical error that we're making here. We're getting into a moment like this, and we're both pack-sowing each other. What do we do when the two pack-sows happen, Isaiah, at Iron Dog Gym? Thumb wrestle. You fools, you might as well be thumb wrestling. Is this chi-sao or not? So, that means we're freestyling, right? And if it's a pure section, he went for an attack. I went for my counter attack. So I was making a mistake, right? Or I'm doing a Chum Kiu for my program. And then he pins me, so he's doing an attack. So right here, I can't punch him too. Turn a little more. This is not Wing Chun sections. Right? It was his attack, and so my has to be a defense. Now I attack. But we go freestyle. So remember, it's like a clue. Like, what are we doing? Oh, we should be thumb wrestling. Whoa. All right. Lastly, we were just talking about the end of the sections. So there's this Wing Chun Sweden set, sections 1 through 7. It's like the benchmark for all of us for WT. And it doesn't show the second halves of the sections. Or the last third if you want to break them into like 2/3 in the last third. And that's cool, right? So that's because we're flexible. And it says in our literature from Leung Ting, these are just one way to put it all together and to randomize it yourself. Believe it or not, to randomize it, I would need someone to make them random for me, computers or whatever, right? So that could be no more sections. That's the beauty of it. Celebrate that they made up something. All right. So at the end of this one, and then he's in here, and at the end of this thing, it has a set like this. And then he pins me now, and he steps, and I step backwards. So there's a set like this to finish up section 3. And then now inside here, we're not going to show you the rest, but there's something else could be right there. And so I have a little flow chart where I can go to different sections from there, from section 3 especially. There's a lot of places you could go to try to make it random. Can I get back to section 1? Right, so can I do this to Isaiah and he hits me here? How do I get back to section 1? Hello? Or I'll go underneath. There. Oh, and then he's attacking me now. Yep, that's fine. Yeah. So see, we don't spar, right? And then we're back to Poon Sao. Good. So that's the way to look at it, right? We're in Poon Sao. I go for this one, right? And then can we get back to Poon Sao? Back for a second, right? Not too close to him. Oh! Oh, he got me right in the groin. There, oh, and then he's attacking me now. Yep, that's fine, yeah. Oots. Training versus fighting. Jeffrey John Goss, Ed Moss.